Why are we interested in having our own state? Yorubas want to do a republic. Forgotten? Igbos want IPOB. Biafran, Hausas, Fulani, they want Arewa. Why states? Even those ones trying to toy with Nigeria's destiny, Boko Haram, they want their own states. Everything is states. They didn't say they want their own religion. They want their own state. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, Israelis and the Palestinians. Is it not state matter since 1940 that they be killing themselves? I was just thinking, you've been fighting since 1940. Don't you get tired? Just agree to become Israeli citizen and end this state. But no, they want a Palestinian state, a Palestinian identity. So that means there is something in this statehood thing that is attractive. Have you forgotten? It's only a state that can declare war, not individual. Yes, now. And it's only a state that can become members of international organizations, not. Yes. So that means there is something in this state. So it explains why Biafra has been trying to have its own state. There are things that it's only state that can do within. In fact, under realism that I subscribe to, the state is the only actor that we know. All other actors are irrelevant, they are useless. So the state is the only actor. How many individuals in the world, no matter how exclusive things, perks that the state enjoys. Then importantly, there is one thing that makes the state unique. It is the only thing that has the right to use legitimate force, violence. Nobody questioned the state when they. Now, a state is a territorially based entity. Yes, territorially based. So that means a state is created by humans. A territorially based political entity. A territorially based on land political entity with administrative and enforcement authority. That is a state. Simple. A territorially based, it is established on land, created on land. A territorially based and of enforcement authority or capability. Administrative, admin, which is what they do. Empower, enforcement to kill, to shoot, to beat. Capability. Say two things, and this statement is important. There's a difference between Nigeria and Nigerians. One is living, the other one is non-living. And the living is meant to die for the non-living. Nigeria is the non-living. Nigerians are the living. But without the Nigerians, the living cannot survive. They can't. And you are meant to die for the non-living as the living. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful. That's the non-living. That's who you are pledging to. That's the non-living. The life of the non-living is more important than your own life. That's why they keep telling you sacrifice for the state, sacrifice for the state. So there are 5 types. Now the first one is one nation, one state. One nation, one state. That's the first one. One nation, one state. 2, one state, multiple nation. One state, multiple nation. That's 2. 3, one nation, no state. One nation, no state. 4, multiple nation, multiple states. 5, finally, multiple nation, multiple states. 5, finally, then one nation, multiple states. One nation, multiple states. That's one nation, multiple states. So one nation, one state. One nation, no state. One state, multiple nation. Multiple nation, multiple states. Then one nation, multiple states. So I said out of the first one is clear, it's easy. Now you have one nation, one state. The closest countries in the world that approximate that is the US. People of one tribe, they are the only people living in that territory. And like I said, a good example is the United States. You hardly ever find those guys outside. Even when Trump became president, I thought they were immigrants. They didn't leave. They are there. They will die here. That's their philosophy. Americans are so patriotic. They are so passionate about their country. 90% of them are within they don't bother going out. One nation, no state. Good example, Palestinians. Palestinians, that is why they are fighting the Israelis still now. Palestinians, perfect, wonderful example. They have the population, but they didn't have the state. Biafra. Yes, one nation, but no states. So that's why you say that explains that fight forever. And that's why you've been hearing of two-state solution, one-state solution, four-state solution. Yes, now there are a people without a polentity. Another good examples are the Kurds. I don't know if you've heard of them. Kurds, they are somewhere in Iraq. They are in part of them in Iran. They are in Turkey. They are in Syria. So they are around like that. So they call them the Peshmerga. They helped America to fight ISIS, Islamic State. Then is one nation. It's when one tribe has like 2 or 3 countries. And a good example is Korea. Korea is one nation now, but you have North and South Korea. So Korea is one nation. They are the same blood and kids and kin now, but they are now fragmented. So you have North and South. So that means we have one nation in 2 states. That's multiple states. Before, you'd have had that for Vietnam. North and South, but they are now back together. So that's why I wouldn't use Korea is the perfect example of one nation, multiple states. Then you have multiple nations, multiple states. Classic example for that is that country called Afghanistan. That is why that country is a failure till today. That is their problem. You have about maybe 15 different nationalities in that country called Afghanistan. Different tribes. Pashtun, Punjabi, Azaris, Tajik, you just have them. But then, as you have them in Afghanistan, then you have them as countries as Afghanistan's neighbor. Pashtun, they are one major tribe in Pakistan. So they want to establish their own state, Pashtunistan. More than half of them, they are within Afghanistan. The other half is within Pakistan. It's the same with the Tajiks. Tajiks are within Afghanistan. Half of them, again, they are within Tajikistan, another country entirely. So that means, see, that is why they say there is no peace. There can never be peace in Afghanistan. America ran after 20-something years. They wanted to force them to have a state, but they just realized that this is a wasted effort. They ran because there are too many tribes, too many nationalities fighting in that there, too many countries within that thing called there. A final good example is that country called Russia. Russia is a good example.